Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the Jazwares AEW All Elite Wrestling Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes Ringside Collectibles exclusive 2-pack. Now this is a bloodied up paint variation from the individual releases. These are going to be my first AEW figures that I have myself, and I'm really curious to see how they stack up against the Mattel figures. My understanding is they scale up great, but I believe I've been told they're better quality, but I want to see for myself. Now, I didn't feel like I needed Cody as a single release, as my rule is no close equal no buy. And then this Dustin here, wasn't sure what I could do with him either, but this blooded up pack was way too cool to pass up. I got an email it was available, pre-ordered it, and to my surprise, it shipped only a couple days later. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. As you can see, Cody and Dustin Rhodes, AEW, All Elite Wrestling, Blood and Guts, Blood Brothers. In the packaging, there's blood splattered all over the plastic. Pretty nice effect. And then the figures here. Dustin here, blood all over his face. Cody's got the bloody handprint on him. My understanding is they were in a bloody feud match in AEW. Cody ended up winning, but they got blood all over the place, all over each other, all over the floor. You can see that big bloody handprint on Cody, looking pretty cool. The top, AEW, Blood and Guts, Blood Brothers. One side, you can see both them there. Other side, pretty blank. At the bottom, there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody, as well as a bunch of credits. And then on the back, you can see the two of them, probably after their match, covered in blood. So with no further ado, let's open them up. And this guy came in a huge haul I got today. I guess bloodied up is the theme. All four of the Mortal Kombat figures are bloody paint variations. The AEW wrestling figures are bloodied up paint variations. The Batman and Joker 2-pack are muddied up, tightened battle damage pack. And the Flashpoint Batman is just regular. Alright, now that we got these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. And that was kind of a joke, as they don't seem to come with any traditional accessories. Although it looks like Cody may have a removable weightlifting belt. So this is Dustin Rhodes and Cody Rhodes. Their father was a legend in the wrestling game. You might know them as Goldust and Stardust from some of their WWE days. They jumped ship and are now with AEW. I believe there was a non-bloodied version of both these guys already released, but I didn't feel like I needed them. I'm a sucker for bloodied up paint variant action figures, and that's exactly what these guys are. So let's check out each of the figures. Here's Dustin. You can see his face all beat up and bloodied. The effect looks fantastic. It looks gruesome. I love it. He's got all the tattoos on his arms. It looks like double jointed elbows. Blood splattered all in there. Blood all over his chest, his other arm as well. Going further down, looks like double ball joints in his torso here. Blood on his legs as well. Like I said before, this is my first time handling any of the Jazwares AEW figures, and they do seem to be pretty nice quality. And then we've got Cody here. One of the coolest things, that bloody handprint on his chest from his brother. It looks great. More blood splatter all over his chest and abs. On his arms and hands too. And look at his hair, blonde at the front and just soaked red in the back. His back also covered in blood. These guys just look ridiculous, gruesome, very, very nice. And then here are the figures broken down as far as they can go, with all their removable parts detached. Although they don't come with any alternate head or hands, their head and hands pop out with complete ease, showing me that at least some of the figures in line will have some alternate parts to swap out. Now let's look at the one accessory they come with. This is a weightlifting belt. You can see the buckle on the front. It does have a peg, so you can open it up. And on the other side there, it says Attitude Killer. Here's Cody without the belt. And here he is with the belt on. And in case you were wondering, the belt does not fit on his older brother Dustin. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figures and their accessory, now let's check out their height. So Dustin here, sitting at about 7.4 inches tall, which is going to translate to a little bit under 19 centimeters. And then Cody here, sitting at about 6.75 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 17 centimeters. Now let's check out their articulation. I was really curious what the Jazwares AEW figures were going to be like, and they don't disappoint. So let's start off with Dustin here. Of course, his head can rotate from side to side, can look up that far and down that far. Pretty nice range of motion there. Can tilt, but really not much there. Shoulders on a ball joint. You can hear him clicking into place. The joints are kind of like Revoltech. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He does have a bicep cut there, and it's hidden very nicely. Doesn't really obstruct the tattoos or anything. Double jointed elbows go all the way in. His wrist here, it can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. He's got a ball joint in his torso here. It can rotate around, swivel, and it can go forward and back. And he's another one at his torso waist. Can also rotate, also go forward and back, giving him a very wide range of motion in his body. Legs go out almost 90 degrees. Got some ball joints in there. Forward, about that far. Back, really not at all. He's got a thigh cut below that. Double jointed knees below that. There's a boot cut up here. And then his ankles here, and then go up and down. They can tilt and rock, and it can't really rotate. And now, let's look at Cody's articulation. Starting with his head. Of course, you can rotate from side to side. Go up and down about that far. Cody's considerably looser than Dustin. His head is pretty loose. I'm sure you can see it sort of wobbling on there. Shoulders on a ball joint as well. You can hear him clicking into place. Go up quite a bit. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a bicep cut. Double jointed elbows go all the way in. His wrists, it can rotate, and it is also hinged. Now this guy's super loose in his torso, and that is extremely disappointing. I mean, you can just sort of see he's just wobbling over the place. He's got the ball joint at the top. It can rotate, also go forward and back. Same with the bottom. It can rotate around and go forward and back. But this guy's just so loose. Very disappointing. I don't know if all Codys are like that or just mine. His legs go out this far. Ball joints. Then go forward about that far. Back, really not at all. They're also kind of loose here. A lot different than the Dustin figure. Thigh cut below that. Double jointed knees below that. Boot cut. And his ankles go up and down. And they can also tilt and rock. So my overall verdict on their articulation, it's quite nice. It's every bit as good as a Mattel WWE Elite figure. Their plastic feels maybe a little bit better than the Mattel figures. Very disappointed how loose my Cody is. No idea why. If anyone else has these figures or the single releases, let me know if your Cody's like that as well. Here they are in a wrestling match, getting ready to kick off the fight. I do wish I had the standard non-bloody releases to start this scene. I know this is a WWE wrestling ring. I don't have the AEW one. I'm really not planning to get it, but these figures are pretty darn cool. And as they continue to fight the match, drawing more and more blood, Cody ended up being the victor in this match. Originally, Dustin was supposed to retire if he lost, but Cody and Dustin ended up fighting some wrestling matches together afterwards. And now, let's check these guys out compared with some other action figures, starting off with some other wrestling figures. Now, I don't have any other Cody Rhodes figures, but here's another Dustin Rhodes figure. Here's him as Goldust. I don't remember this actually happening, but he's in a Pharaoh type getup. I believe this figure is from the Mattel Create a Superstar wrestling line. Here they are, next to some Mattel WWE Elite figures. The Elite figures have a little bit more articulation and accessories than the basic versions. And here they are, next to some Mattel WWE basic figures. Then, here they are with some Mattel female wrestling figures. On the left, we've got a couple of Elite figures, and on the right, a couple basic figures. Overall, I'm very pleased. These guys, for the most part, scale up pretty good with the Mattel wrestling figures. If they weren't in scale with them, they were shorter or way bigger, I probably wouldn't even bothered. What's the point if you can't mix them? Now let's check them out, compared with some action figure lines from different various companies, to see how they fit in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix them with. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some larger action figure lines and work my way smaller. Here they are with some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some McFarlane toys. And here they are with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. Then, with some NECA figures. And here they are next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Then, with some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, next to some Mafex figures. Then, here they are next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here they are next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, here they are with some other Jazwares brothers. Here they are with some Jazwares Fortnite figures. Now, when I first heard that Jazwares was going to be doing AEW figures, I was very concerned they were going to be as short as these Fortnite figures. And I'm very happy they went with a scale that matches the Mattel wrestling figures. So overall, these figures are pretty nice. Their paint job is excellent. The bloody effects look great. On Dustin there, one of his eyes is even sort of swollen shut. It looks great. Their articulation is on point as well, although I'm definitely disappointed with how loose my Cody is. Their sculpts are also pretty nice. When I found out how popular the AEW line had become, I figured they were going to be superior to the Mattel figures. And for the most part, I'd say that's accurate. These two are definitely not superior in the accessories department. Looking back, I wish I was a little bit more aggressive on trying to pre-order Series 1 and 2. I really wish I had Chris Jericho and Brandy Rhodes from Series 1. Brandy Rhodes in particular is quite expensive, so it looks like I'm stuck like Chuck until they reissue them. Jazwares had said that they're going to be sending Series 1 and 2 back into production and allow everyone who missed out a chance to get them. Overall, if I were to rate these guys, I'd give them a very strong 7 out of 10. Pretty pleased for the most part with what I got here. Really like the bloody effects. I think I can find some nice uses for these guys in my action figure world. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.